Hello, gotcha TGTF community. I don't think you've ever had someone speak in voice before, but I decided it was the only way I was going to get my point across because y'all don't know the figure of the co-writer that well. Hi, that's me. I'm the co-writer. I'm so fed up with y'all. It's nothing bad. Kind of. Don't worry. Worry a bit. I'm mad at you. But I have been sitting here and pondering the trend of the Gotcha TGTF community as best I can from my semi-YouTube exile, and I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Yeah, to be more accurate, I'm so frustrated. Okay. Let's rewind. This was started because I ranted at a certain favorite, and I'm sorry. I'm going to get into a lot of the same topics, but I want you and everyone else to know, person that I ranted at, this is everyone. Dork, this is you. Random, this is you. Hazard, who I am aware of, this is you. It's everyone. I am mad at all of you. Oh my god. Okay. So, we're going to start with the trendsetter itself, the Amethyst series. I don't care about the style. This is about the writing. That's how you know it's dangerous. I watched all of season 1 of the Amethyst series for Pearl when it came out with your local idiot. I watched the whole thing, and my honest thought at the time was, wow, I can only give this a 4 out of 10 at best. And I can talk about why. So, I love a lot of TGTF series for a lot of reasons. I like the transformations. I like the horny aspect. People on the server have seen me cackle about writing the aspects of condition and horniness directly into the Cameron and Goober series because that's kind of important to me. And it's important to acknowledge that this sort of thing is part of what it is. Yes, it's trans driven, but I'm not trans. Your local idiot is. I'm the one who's just into it. So I like that. I like transformation aspects. I like story. And I watched Amethyst and I said to myself, wow, this isn't the best it could be. Oh well. And I sent that in. But oh man, I can't be letting this go anymore. It's spread too far. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the core antagonist drive trope, is what I guess I want to call it. It's always the same thing. You think it isn't, and then it is. It's always, I hate men, right? And I want to back up a second. I want to say something very loud and clear. I believe myself in my heart of hearts that I should be a feminist. Or, I want to be a feminist. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, because I'm a dude. But I can say right now, I would vote in a misandrist to power and go against years of trans rights if it meant for a second that women and men could have actual equal rights in some way. Because I understand that we don't. Okay? And I understand how that affects a lot of people's writing. So, that's that. But the trope's gone too far, y'all. We have Angelica, we have Smokey from Hazard series, and we have Amethyst are the big three I want to point at. I'm sorry for calling y'all out, because you deserve better than some 6K YouTuber looking at you guys and going, I see problems. But it is what it is. So I'm going to start with Smokey, because you almost did the best out of the three of them. You almost did it good. I just watched the entirety of your 12th episode. I will admit, I didn't watch the previous episodes. You want to know why? Because I'm tired of the villain hating men trope. Anyways, I watched the entire thing. And my honest thought process was, oh my god, this is brilliant. And then you put Amethyst in and I was over it. It happened so fast. And do you want to know why? Because you did what you should be doing with the TGTF series. And I mean this honestly. What I see as a perfect antagonist-driven TGTF series. And I think you could play with this. Any given way you want, you could play with this. But the ideal of it would be this person goes from hating men for whatever reason, or hating women, maybe they're an incel, to finding a hatred for the society at the top and gunning for it. TGTF series are all about blending lines. They're all about what is gender really? What is the body really? What defines my sexuality? What defines my identity? And all of that is intensely malleable in this genre. And you could do so much with it. And instead, sometimes we go certain directions, sometimes we go other directions. I'm going to focus on Pinky here. Pinky's story is very specifically a riff on Amethyst, because Amethyst's story is I was the only girl in a world full of men, and they didn't like me for it, and they killed my dad, and so I was banished with all of my dad's power after he realized men were awful, and so I vowed vengeance on all men. That's a real Cliff's Note, sir. Smokey's story was I was created by a man seeking power, by a natural artifact. I was never loved by any man in my life who had any parental motivation, and the second I was old enough, they abandoned me. The one friend I made, who I considered a sibling, was murdered by lustful idiots over stupid reasons, and the king at the head of it all intentionally misinterpreted me and made me out to be the villain. Do you understand what that reads like to me? It reads like societal failing. It reads like massive societal failing. It reads as an outsider who isn't understood, being personally attacked for being an outsider, for getting put down, getting locked out of certain opportunities as much as she could be anyways, getting a pay gap even. Let's go there. Let's say it's a pay gap. And when she finally breaks, it's because her brother dies, and she lashes the fuck out. But the first words out her mouth are, "You did this, Mr. King. You and your system caused this, and I hate all of it. All of it's burning down." And then she did, right? She swung. But afterwards, she shut down completely. And you know why? Because it wasn't just the people that she hated who got hurt. It wasn't just the system. It was the cowardly prince who didn't really say anything other than, hey, you shouldn't do this, and didn't have the power to do a lot about it. He got feminized. He got hurt. I think he got atomized, actually. What about the other men who never even interacted with her, aside from just leaving the premises because of a bunch of different rumors societally about her? They got feminized or atomized. How many of them deserved it? How many screams were worth that revenge? That global, dead-wide revenge? And so she shuts down. And do you understand how good that writing is? I don't think I can articulate how well done that basic critique of the gender system is, coming from someone other than me, an idiot, who are so dedicated to this critique, even if we don't put it in Cameron or Goobers, because it doesn't feel relevant to us. We are beyond it. And that's arrogant, but we are not there anymore, okay? We aren't there. We're off in what makes a person irredeemable and what can a person be redeemed for. That's the Goobers, by the way. That'll be coming up eventually. I'm fucking spoiling it. So that's Pink. And then Pink, of course, Hazard, you ruined it. You want to know why you ruined it? Because you saw Amethyst in the sky saying all men need to die, and you took no further questions. You just fucking jumped on it. Your character didn't think about it. She didn't hesitate. She didn't do shit. She was like, you know what? Yeah, men were responsible for all of the woes in my life. Fuck them. Angelica is Amethyst too. And I don't even know how to be more specific about it, because Angelica, as far as I remember, was just a bullying case by misogynistic dickwads. Do you know how many times that happens in our daily lives? A lot. But you want to know how many men hit that? A lot. I will know, dead ass, Angelica started as a man. So did a lot of her friends. And that can be pointed out so fucking loudly as, hey, maybe Angelica's not seeing level-headedly, but it's never written that way. It is almost always written as Angelica getting revenge on an unjust world by demenning the world one man at a time. I see too much of it everywhere else. And so you have a character who's driven by this, but it doesn't feel entertaining. It just feels empty. And you get there and you're like, okay, whatever. And you have Amethyst. Amethyst, who was the prompt for this entire writing style. And I remember sitting through the first season and going, why does she hate men so much? Was she burned at the witch trial? What was going on with Amethyst? And my actual dead-ass reaction to her story was, I can't believe you fucked it up that bad. You had every opportunity to do something unique, and you messed it up. Like, you could have had Amethyst be a color-based gender normality or whatever. You didn't even need to include gender for Amethyst's story to have it work. Same thing as Smokey. This is different and it scares me. You don't need a lot more than that. And then you could have Amethyst positioning herself as, when she comes to the human world, oh, I really identify with this gender thing and I identify with being a female. That's cool. And then, she incarnates. And the first thing she does is get misogyny. And coming from a situation where she literally just had all of that for decades and it killed her parental figure, I would believe Amethyst's motivation 1,000% more if it was just directly reliving trauma after assigning herself a new identity that unfortunately ended up being considered the lesser by societal norms. I would have ate that up with a spoon. I'm sorry to say. But it didn't happen that way. It goes everywhere. It goes everywhere. Because even the Crystal Gems kinda had it. Random's Crystal Gems, Season 1, did not know what the fuck it was doing. It tried to be a critique of the system. It didn't work. It tried to be a critique of gods. It didn't work. It tried to be a critique of gender. It didn't work. It had no clue. I'm a little apologetic about that, I must admit. But even it had that sense of, they're all happier because men is the worst gender. It's like, no. And so I look at it literally like the Smokey scene from the actual 12th episode of Hazard's TGTF series. It's like y'all had a lot of emotions about the men in your life, which is very valid, or had a lot of emotions about being a man, because it's complicated. Life's complicated. It sucks. So you had your emotions, and you gathered them up, and you were ready to parse them out later in life, or do whatever you needed to do with them, and you saw Amethyst in the story itself, and you said, holy shit, she's right. Men are the source of all my problems. I'm going to make a series about it. And then you did. But I look at it from the societal angle, and you know what I see? I see a bunch of nerdy dudes and men who don't fit the norm. And I'm not counting sexuality. I'm counting don't fit the norm. I'm counting the stereotype in the movie of the nerd with the overalls getting bullied by the jock. That is literally baked into our cultural norm, that a lesser man is supposed to be beat on by a greater man. And that's stupid. But fuckwads take that to heart, and that's not okay. It harms women, and that they're literally used like property. We haven't gotten over that. That's still a thing that people do, and it's stupid and it sucks. It harms trans women, who are both seen as predators to womanly societies, because women are constantly told to be terrified of men, which is a fair cop considering how many motherfuckers are predatory. And it harms trans women in the fact that they are automatically the worst possible man in a man's space. And no, they're not supposed to be men in a men's space, but they can't find any solace in a woman's space if that woman is a TERF. So turning back to the family that they're supposed to have, they instead get told, hey, no, fuck you. You failed at everything we set out for you. You were supposed to be a big, powerful, successful man, and you're not. And that sucks. How dare you go against what we built for you? And it also sucks for trans men. I want to point this out loudly. It sucks for trans men because trans men are either are considered by both sides to be abandoning womanhood for either trying to get out of the oppressed class by women by ascending to an oppressor class, which isn't how that fucking works, right? Or leaving a place where I can freely oppress you for a place where I have to see you as an equal. That's not gonna work. That's so stupid. That's so stupid. But I can understand that the patriarchy hurts everyone. And feminism should be absolute equality. Absolute equality. There should be no differences. There should be no pay gap. There should be no gendered sports divide. I should be able to walk up to a soccer field and see betitted men and dick having women, and it should be okay. And instead we have stupid shit. Prince, link the video essay in the description, why don't you? I think y'all should watch that. It's really good. But I feel this core of hatred in the community, and it's so tiring. It's so exhausting. You spend all this time writing a hateful little story when you could be spending time writing about a world where gender doesn't matter. A world where the boundaries are as thin or as wide as you make them. A world where Cameron, episode 13, where a woman both realizes that she likes being a man more and that she's gay as fuck for another man, can exist without being batted down for women is the worst gender or man is the worst gender. It was an internal preference for that specific character. And that can happen again. It can happen so many more times. And maybe this will get through to like nobody. Maybe this won't do anything I want it to. But I have hope. Please. Because it's exhausting. And it's alienating, not just to me, but to transmascs in general. It alienates your local idiot. Please do better, TGTF community. Pretty please.